Hello everyone, and welcome to the Deeply Renegade podcast. My name is Molly, also known as the Deeply Renegade, and I'd like to welcome you guys to episode 301. Today is Saturday, January 11th, 2020, and I'm glad you can join me today. What would it be? Last week I took the week off because I was moving to San Francisco, and now here I am. So it's a little bit late. I am not very happy with the light. But there really isn't. It would be super janky to get everything plugged in, but for now, this is gonna work. What would it be? A lot of the bits and pieces have made it out, so in that regard, that's good. But there's still lots of settling stuff to do. So, worked a week of work, did public transit a couple of days, drove a couple of days, sort of getting used to being in a new place. So there's just a lot of changes that have happened. So, moving across the country, I'm starting a new job, I'm getting used to a new city, which is very different. Very different than anywhere I've lived before. So it's gonna be okay, but what would it be? It's certainly an adjustment. And what would it be? Like, on the knitting and spinning front, it's been not a whole lot of change, so I really wouldn't have shown you very much different this week from last week, but that's fine. What I'm just gonna quick take care of early on is actually the spinning, which I know is out of order, but I do have the spinning wheel installed. It doesn't seem to be horrifically in the way. I just sort of mooch it back and forth on the little love seat. I do like being upright. I am working on the second blue single, so I have my teal and my blue, and then I have my second blue on the wheel at the moment, but I didn't want to move it out today. Hopefully next time I will set aside a little bit more time, so that I can get the lights up and that sort of thing, but just bare bones right now, baby steps. Yeah, you could probably apply that to everything right now. So spinning is, or what would it be? So wheel successfully moved in the car, fibers just fine. My stack of stash is a little bit hilarious in this new place, but I don't know, my husband has been here for 13 months now, so making room for me is a lot of shoving. So, in terms of other stuff, I am still working on the V-neck boxy, for which obviously stitches have fallen off, so I'll fix that now while I'm here. So V-neck boxy is a Hohi Locatelli pattern that I am knitting out of 2 Shibui yarns held together. So I am using Pebble in the blueprint colorway and I am using Shibui Silk Cloud in the Abyss colorway in order to create this sort of dark blue sweater. Now, what have I done since I talked to you last? So I did manage to knit up another skein, which is good. I did manage to knit up another skein, which meant that I used that as a stopping point to put in the collar. There was some sort of situation that was conducive for coloring, so now I have a collar. I don't know where I can hold this so that it looks right. Whatever. A collar is currently installed. I'm maybe not like the happiest with how everything came together in that one. I did a center double decrease. I don't know if I should have consulted something different. Bother dropping those. Whatever. Such is life. And it's probably a little bit too cold at the moment for being out here with the t-shirt, but oh well, such is life. I'm just like a little bit chilly. I don't know, it's like 55. It's always gonna be 55 here, so whatever. So, in terms of how far I've knit since I showed you guys last, I did get a pretty good burn on this, so I can move my progress keeper, because I am now in the second to last skein of blueprint that I had set aside for this, so whatever. I've probably done like another 2 inches of this guy, I don't know, so hand to hand, not too crazy. So I'll move my little Delft stitch marker and continue on. I don't know, this actually looks like it's on the Chinese side of blue and white, so that would be Delft. Delft is, whatever, the Dutch copying the Chinese, as you do. So, yeah, they're definitely there. So, not too crazy. What it'd be, I will have to sit down and figure out whether or not I get far enough inchwise to say, yes, I can use the last skein for the high-low hem I wanted to do. I definitely have plenty of the gray remaining. I think, I don't know. Don't recall what the exact colorway name of this one is. I could probably look up on Ravelry. And then I have probably one more ball, or what do we, so I have this amount of black remaining, and then I used a little bit of this for the collar. So not too crazy. And I have most of the 50, or whatever, this 25 gram ball at this point. So hopefully I can get the distance that I want. I want it to be a little bit longer, which obviously means it takes more yarn. But the end is near. And this is like a true lace weight yarn, so these 25 gram units are a lot of yardage. For these 25, they are probably 200 yards a piece, so I have quite a lot of knitting to go on this. So, not too crazy there, but this is my only knitting project right now. It's boring, but I would like to see the end of it as well. I'm not quite sure at this point what I want to do next. I do have yarn pulled out to maybe knit my grandpa another pair of socks. I haven't figured out what pattern I want to do and whether or not I want it to fit with the sock knitters knit-along that's going on right now. The current knit-along is just cables. I probably just need to call my grandparents and be like, does it fit good? Because it's a little bit different than the last socks I made him. So I just want to make sure before I proceed with great confidence that that's going to work for him. Now, what else is in my bag, which I did manage to get a little bit of progress done on. My bag is a little bit scary right now. Sorry about that. Okay. So, I am working on a wild onion knit. So, this is one of the balls that I'm currently working on. It has sparkles, greens, blues, purples, this crazy thready whatever, some like thread texture, and really I need to get this maybe a little bit better contained, but I did manage to, with all of the travel that I ended up doing, get through a rather sizable sized chunk of the bat, as you do. What I had not had prepared, I think, last time was actually my spin the bend. So that was sort of laying out my spinning intentions for the year. A decent chunk of the entries are actually finishing up the Geneva Fleece spin, which is this guy, but this one I didn't count in the total. Ooh, activated the light. This is also this location here is where the raccoons like to roam, so it is not the time of raccooning right now. I put in what I had left unspun on the spindle project. I put in I ended up getting some nest fiber and de-stash. I had my SSK fiber, which was an alpaca nylon blend. And then I had my SSK fiber itself, so that was a purple, black, white, and gray roving. So I ended up having 8 ounces of that. So not too crazy. Hopefully, I don't know, it's not. I could have gone away with maybe not including as many entries, but I figure it's a good way to stay motivated. And then because the Vinny, I wasn't very structured last year, I put all of the fleece in the bin, but that didn't specify how much I was planning on spinning, so while I did probably satisfy the requirements, I wasn't kind to myself in actually specifying how much weight that was, so I would have succeeded even with just the waste skeins that I ended up creating last year with the the combing and hackle leftovers, but I didn't do that. Yeah. So, no, whatever. It is what it is. So, I volunteered to send prizes directly from Dyer to whoever ends up winning, so that shouldn't be too crazy. And that sort of gives an opportunity for whatever the right thing or whatever the right things to reach the right people, because basically I took all fiber on hand and put it in my bin anyways. So I was afraid I wasn't gonna have enough, but it was fine. So if the minimum is 24, I have a bit more than that. I'm trying to think about how much I actually have, but whatever, such is life. So so that is proceeding. After I finish this current skein of the Ginny the Fleece, then I'll be into my bin entries. So, and what would it be? And it'd be the case where I do really want to get that project going and started, so that's probably going to be what I'm going to keep working on. The spindle project just is nice to have in my bag, even though there's a lot of crap, unnecessary crap in my bag at the moment. I need to. It was it seemed like it might be a little cold this morning, and then I ended up lugging it around with me all day, and not ideal. So, in terms of next week, I'm actually going to be taking part in the Clemis and Clemis Bay Area workshops. So that is across the bridge in Richmond, California. So I will be doing day trips to there. That's not a big deal. Richmond's a couple towns past Berkeley. Or what would it be? So you have San Francisco, and then you have the Bay Bridge, and then across the Bay Bridge you end up in Oakland, and then there's Emeryville and Berkeley, and Emeryville is very small. So I get off at the second exit after I get off the bridge to go to work, that sort of thing. So I'm not quite sure how much further Richmond is. It's not that far, and it's going to be a Saturday. So then what ends up happening is if you go north out of San Francisco, then you take the Golden Gate Bridge and you end up in Marin County, and that's where Muir Woods and what would it be? Much lower density stuff's going on. If you go in San Francisco and you end up heading south, you end up on the peninsula, and that's sort of in the direction of where a lot of tech companies are. Lots of suburban stuff. Come on, movie maker, you can do it. Whatever. So, and that sort of gives you an orientation. And we're actually in the city. It's high density. You're hearing banging and stuff, and such is life. So it is a lot of people squished together on steep hills. So my outlook for tomorrow is we're going house hunting with a realtor, because we're going to be living in a 350 square foot studio after being in a place that was 10 times the size. Compromises will have to be made, but right now this is very cheap, but very easy. So a lot of my knitting accoutrements are actually sort of in the hallway, going to the back door, and definitely way more room in the backyard than the whatever place itself. So if we just lightly turn, we can show the majesty of the backyard. Oh look, the shed isn't actually on the property. And then way that spot back there is the cat superhighway. You can see some kitties moving super fast in the hole in the fence. They're just and then the way we're pointing right now is towards the bay. If we were turned around the other way, you would see a plywood wall and the setting sun. So whatever. I still have to get used to where I'm located in the time zone. Because it seems like it's getting dark super fast, but that might just be winter. So, lots of changes, lots of excitement, such as life. I'll probably be recording a smidge late. I have the day off on Monday for, I think it's Martin Luther King Day. Yeah, it's Martin Luther King Day. So I'll probably record during a better time on that Monday, and I'll have all of the fun stuff with the drum carder workshops to share with you guys then. So probably not a lot of knitting progress, but certainly a lot of fun fiber craft spinning stuff, so I'm excited about that. I'm taking a class about making fractals on the drum carder, and then on Sunday I'm taking a class on processing rare breeds, so it's a part of the Shave 'em to Save 'em program. So should be good. I'm excited about it. Apparently the classes were offered at a little bit of a discount. Lunch is provided, so that's good. Coffee too, so I think I'll survive. And it seems like my cold is finally dying, so hopefully I'm going to feel a little bit more human going forward. So, would it be short episode? It might be short for a little while as I get used to everything that has changed, but exciting times for sure. So with that, I hope you guys have a lovely week, and I look forward to talking to you guys soon. So take care, guys. Bye-bye.